What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another new podcast. Now, today, I want to talk about something I said I would not discuss on this channel, and that's politics. But I feel the subject matter is too important not to have a discussion on. And this is not about who you vote for or what party you're affiliated with. It is just some of the rhetoric that I've been hearing both before and after the election, and specifically the election that happened down in Georgia between Brian Kemp and Stacey Abrams for the governorship of Georgia. I said Georgia. And what I heard both before and now after the election are excuses as to why she lost the race. And one thing that I've been hearing is that it is black men's fault. And it seems as if that was the setup before the election occurred. So I want to take a look at an interview Stacey Abrams did, and I want you to hear what she had to say.
And I do not believe it's because of a deep well of enthusiasm for my opponent. We know that black voters are often discounted. And unfortunately, this year, black men have been a very targeted population for misinformation. Not misinformation about what they want, but about why they want what they deserve. And my campaign has been the only one that has very intentionally, thoughtfully, and consistently reached out. That has been misconstrued as concern, when indeed it's just respect.
Now, I don't know about you, but to me, it sounds like she's saying black men aren't going to vote for Brian Kemp because they're smart enough to decide for themselves. They're being fooled into voting for Brian Kemp. So we need to help them along and help the black man because he can't think for himself. And we're seeing this same rhetoric being used by other women in influential positions.
We need to talk about the demon of disinformation that has black male voters in Georgia willing to support Raphael Warnock, but not Stacey Abrams.
Roland made a really legitimate point here. I will say, you know, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat, but that margin of people who can be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
So do you see how it was being set up for black men to take the fall? As if we're just dumb. We can't think for ourselves. We need to just get in line with the black woman because she has all the answers and she's just done such a great job of leading the black community. And us as black men, we're just dumb and we don't know anything. So we can't think for ourselves. We need someone to think for us. And that's absolute bullshit. And I don't agree with that. But I'm telling you, this has been coming for a while. I can go back to a post that I saw the day after the presidential election in 2020. Let's take a look at this. It says, let's keep the faith. But black men, we need to have a convo. Hashtag real talk. And you see the date, November 4th, 2020. Let's take a look at another post I remember seeing. Black men, y'all got something to tell us? Hashtag I need answers. The stone cold audacity to think black men owe you any answers for the way they vote is ridiculous. You do not own black men. If a black man decides the Republican candidate is going to be better for him and his family, then he should be able to vote that way. The same way with the black man who decides the Democratic candidate is going to be better for him and his family. He should be able to vote that way. He should not be shamed into voting for a candidate that he really does not believe in.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
But we're gonna take a look at another post after the election to see what's being said, because posts and tweets are like roaches. When you see a few, just know that there are more on the way. So let's look at this right here. It says, especially all the she didn't get out and appeal to black men they're doing on Twitter. Well, if that's the sentiment that is coming up, maybe there's some validity to that. Is it not worth looking into her campaign to see were there any ways we could have spoke to the black man? Is there any issues that black men specifically face that we could have highlighted more? And maybe it doesn't help me now, but maybe it helps the next candidate. Maybe that's something to think about. But no, absolutely not. There's just excuse after excuse. And this comment came off of a ridiculous thread. I want you to see what excuse they're also trying to throw out there. It says, Stacey Abrams losing twice got more to do with fat phobia than folks care to admit. I mean, come on. Now, I'm not saying that maybe people would have looked at her more favorably if she was slimmer and at a healthier weight, but I really don't think people went to the polls and said, I can't vote for her. She's over 200 and some pounds, so nope, gotta go with Brian Kemp here. I think it has a lot more to do with messaging and how someone comes off than their weight, but it's just a reason to not accept the results. And again, just like with black men, it's an excuse so you don't look at the candidate and say what's wrong with them. You have to look at everything else. But let's inject a little bit of truth into this conversation. I want to take a look at another post, another tweet that was posted by Michael Harriot. It says, according to exit polls, Abrams had more support from black men than Dems had nationwide. In fact, if every single black male Kemp voter had voted for Abrams instead, she still would have lost. Turns out the black male voter problem was a lie. So it seems as if they tried to put something on us that just was not true. You see it right here. If every black man would have voted for Stacey Abrams, she still would have caught that L. So why did they try to set it up on us as if we were the problem? Because it's always easier to blame men and black men as well. So I just don't like the idea of passing the blame instead of just looking at yourself and deciding what we could have done better. And let's take a look at these numbers to see just how much black voters or black male voters voted for Stacey Abrams, because he posted this graph as well. And you look right here, and it shows that 84% of black men voted for Stacey Abrams. And based on the numbers, no other demographic aside from black women support their party's candidate more than black men. So why was it being set up for black men to take the fall if Stacey Abrams loses? I don't know the answer to that question, but I would imagine it has a lot to do with women being allergic to accountability. So I like to inject facts and numbers so people have something concrete to hold on to. So if you ever find yourself having one of these discussions or hearing somebody blame black men, you can go back and screenshot the graphs from this video so you have something to put in front of their faces, because I would imagine a lot of people are not going to have these ideas debunked. They're gonna go around believing that it was black men's fault for Stacey Abrams losing. And I understand that black women felt a special affinity for Stacey Abrams, seeing somebody that looks like them representing the state of Georgia. But it's not our fault that she lost. And we need to make sure that the blame is put where it should be. Maybe it had something to do with her campaign efforts. I don't know. But what I do know is that on the very same day, in the very same race, in the very same party, there was not a winner, but there was somebody of the Democratic Party that took more of the votes. And that's the Senate election between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. Now, Raphael Warnock didn't officially win because he has to cross that 50% threshold in order to win the election, but he did get most of the votes, and there will now be a special election December 6th to decide who gets that Senate seat. And I didn't hear any excuses being set up for Raphael Warnock to potentially lose his election. I didn't hear that being blamed on black men. Hell, I didn't hear that being blamed on white men. And I don't think anybody's to blame. Which brings me to my last point. Vote for whoever the hell you feel best represents you. If it's the Republican, vote for them. If it's the Democrat, vote for them. That is your American right. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to get in line and you need to blindly follow what we say without doing the research for yourself. I think that creates an atmosphere where one party who is always getting your vote doesn't have to do anything to earn your vote. The only thing they're trying to get you to do is show up because they know once you're there, you'll vote for them. And I think that is not good. You need to create competition. Make your vote up for grabs so that the Democrats have to do more to earn it. And if the Republicans decide that they can finally get into the black vote, then they'll do something to show you like, hey, look, we here for you too. Create that competition. I think that it just is going to work better for the black community overall, but the excuses have got to stop. But that's gonna do it for this video. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you guys have anything to say, please leave it in the comments below. And until another time, I'll see you guys later.